We finally know how the banners for version 5.6 are going to look like, and since these are one of the most interesting banners we had in a while, I want to give you guys some honest advice on who you should pull for so you don't regret your decision. So starting with the most interesting one, the new character. Now at the time of recording, she's looking to be pretty insane. She's going to be a cryo and hydro support, and she's meant to be used in freeze teams. Now why is that? Well, depending on how many hydro and cryo characters you have in your team, she can reduce the cryo and hydro resistance of enemies by up to 55% for 12 seconds. That is a 50% res rate. On top of that, she will be an attack scaling healer, which means that she is going to be insane for Furina teams. Her elemental skill has two different modes, and she will be able to either deal AoE damage or absorb elemental attacks, depending on which mode you choose. But here's the thing, keep in mind the version 5.6 beta has just started, so there's a good chance that she will be nerfed later on. So before you go ahead and spend $600 for her, just wait 1 or 2 weeks and then make your decision. Overall, Escoffier is going to be an absolutely insane support for freeze teams in specific, so if you have any cryo characters that you want to use, or if you are planning to pull for Skirk, pulling for Escoffier is going to be definitely worth it. Now moving on to Kinich, he's a good DPS overall and possibly the best Denjo DPS in the game, depending on your investment. If you already have a Denjo DPS like Alhaitham, or you just don't really want to play Denjo teams, then I wouldn't recommend you to pull for him. On a free-to-play level, his damage is not anything insane, but it's also not terrible, so just pull for him if you really like him and you enjoy playing Virgin teams. I personally like his playstyle, but I hate the fact that you have to use him in Virgin teams, and it just feels like there is a very small amount of team options for him, so the more you use him, the more it starts to get boring. But he's very fun when it comes to exploration, so if you don't care about dealing a lot of damage, then you will definitely have a lot of fun with him. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the almighty Raiden Shogun, cause if I'm being honest, I don't think she's that almighty anymore. Look, I understand that some of you guys are absolutely obsessed with this woman, but it's time to stop coping. Just let it go. She used to be a great DPS, but she fell off, alright? She fell off. Especially at C0. She's decent if you have some insane supports, but even then, she's just a worse Electro DPS than Cloren or Veressa. Now before some of you nerds out there go into the comments and say something like, but she actually has the best Electro application in the game. Well, no shit. But who the fuck pulls for a character just because of their elemental application? Like, let's be honest here, nobody pulls for a character just because of that. It's just not worth it. She's a decent support and a solid Electro DPS, but that's it. Only pull for Raiden if you like her. If you don't like Raiden Shogun and you're only pulling because of her value, just don't do it. She's not meta anymore, alright? Just let it go. Now as for Navia, she used to be a great DPS on her release back in version 4.3, but now that we got Xilonen, I would consider her to be one of the best DPS characters in the game. She can deal so much damage in such a short amount of time, which makes her great for the Abyss. She's so fun to use and she has so many team options to the point where even though I have been using her for more than a year, I'm still having a lot of fun with her, because there's always some new team comp that you can try. Her constellations are honestly kind of ass though, so you're not really missing out on anything if you don't get her C1 or her C2. So especially for free-to-play players out there, she is a great DPS to have on your account, especially if you already have Xilonen or you plan on getting her. Anyway, with that being said, let me know in the comments who you are going to pull for, and as always, I wish everyone a nice and wonderful day.